Guys, welcome back to another video. Dads, fathers, just men in general, maybe mothers, whoever's watching this. Guys, I want to talk today about testosterone. Testosterone, you hear all about it. It's a vital hormone. Now, I'm not a doctor. I'm not going to say I'm an absolute expert in testosterone. I've just been researching here and there really recently. But across my findings, I've found that as fathers, we've got a huge problem with testosterone, and that is that apparently it's the biggest drop in testosterone a man will experience is when he becomes a father. So when you have a kid and you spend time with that kid, and the more time you spend with that kid, your testosterone drops huge amounts. And the reason for this, theories for this, there's a few reasons, a few theories out there for this. But it is an issue. Now, I'm not suggesting don't have kids. I'm not suggesting don't spend time with your kids just to keep your testosterone high. That's ridiculous. We're here to have kids. It's the best thing that's ever happened to me, having a kid. But we should be aware of this. We should be aware of the fact that, yes, it drops a lot. And men with low testosterone creates a whole host of issues. It's not good for us, basically. We need to keep that testosterone high as possible. It drives libido, it keeps your energy high, it keeps fatigue at bay, motivation is high when you've got testosterone, easier to put on muscle, less injuries, less illnesses, etc. Many other things. So keeping it high is of real significance, especially if you're a father like myself. So there's many ways you can do it, and I just want to go through a few ones that I've learned to do to boost my testosterone in a natural way. I'm not going to take steroids or anything like that. Never will. Always been mad against that. Possible. I looked into and heard people talk a lot about TRT when later on in life. That's maybe a possibility later on in life to keep your levels, at optimum levels as you get older, because it obviously decreases a lot as you get older, especially over the age of 40. But I'm currently 33. Absolutely no reason or desire to do anything like that now. But maybe in the future, we'll see. I might be able to keep my testosterone high naturally forever. But currently, right now, no, I will never ever touch that stuff. So, things that I do to keep it naturally high. Now, one of the first thing, really important, testosterone is linked with dopamine, by the way. And so one of the best things you can do when you wake up is go straight outside and get natural sunlight into your eyes. Get out there for 2-3 minutes until your eyes adjust to the sunlight, and that keeps it, and that regulates your dopamine, etc. And like I said, the two are linked together, and that will keep that testosterone nice and high, boost it throughout the day and at night as well. So throughout the day is always very important. So I try not to actually wear sunglasses too much anymore. That blocks a little bit of that natural light, so I don't want to do that. I want to keep that sun rays getting into my eyes. Luckily I work outdoors, so I definitely get that in there. And late at night, you don't want that cortisol rising high, so you want to make sure that you're not getting too much light late at night before you go to sleep. I try about an hour before I go to sleep, turn off all the lights. If I'm looking at my phone or the TV, to turn the brightness right down, so then I can sleep better, because sleep is huge. You've got to get a good night's sleep if you want to keep your testosterone high. It's very difficult, especially with a newborn. I didn't sleep properly for almost the first 2 years of my son's life, which basically the last 2 years. He's only 26 months now. So he's only been sleeping well through the night, I would say, for the last 3 months, 4 months. Before that, it was just crappy, very inconsistent. Most of the time we're waking up 3-4 times a night. So, that took a huge hit on my testosterone, I'm sure. So a good night's sleep, vital. So that means stay away from bright lights about an hour before you go to bed. And when you first wake up, get out there in the sunlight, in the natural light, get that brightness in, get your dopamine up, etc. So there's a few tips I like to do in terms of light. Also, there's foods, etc. you can eat. There's, high fat foods. A lot of research on that. High fat, high protein. For me, keep your calorie intake high. You want to be in a surplus. Yeah, you don't want to be, if you're not eating enough, that's not going to help you. Also training, this is a massive one. So research has shown with training, when you weight train, when you're doing weight training, the best thing for you to do to increase your testosterone is keep the rep range between 1 to 8 reps. Okay, anywhere between 1 to 8 reps. So you're staying roughly in the strength curve there. Around 8 reps and more is you're working into hypertrophy, but staying more in the strength, 6, 7, 8 reps is strength / hypertrophy. But you stay into that rep range, don't go higher than the 8. This is the most important factor. You don't go to failure. Don't go to failure. Go 1, maybe 2 reps. I would say on the last rep, you go 1 rep before failure. This is vitally important. I'm not sure, the research isn't very clear. I'm not sure exactly why this is the case. But definitely staying in that rep range and staying just below failure. This is the biggest booster for your testosterone in terms of your training, along with legs training, and your big compound movements, but especially with the legs, squats, lunges, deadlifts, etc. Massive testosterone boosters. So if you're doing that, you're training, you're doing your upper body stuff, then you're getting your legs in, leg training, your squats, your lunges, etc., or your compound lifts, and you're staying in that 1 to 8 rep range and not going to failure. They are huge testosterone boosters, and that's why I believe I've managed to, keep my testosterone probably pretty high over the last couple of years, despite not getting the sleep, etc., stress high and so on. I was able to train throughout it, and I was always staying in that rep range. And I very, very rarely go to failure. Now, I wasn't doing that because of keep testosterone boosting in mind. Again, I only found this out quite recently, but I was doing it so I wouldn't be burnt out for work being a tennis coach. I don't want to go kill myself to failure in the gym in the morning and then go and train and have to work on a tennis court for 6, 7, 8 hours a day running around here in Cyprus, 35-degree heat. I don't want to do that. So they're big ones for me. Sunlight, huge. Vitamin D, absolutely massive for helping testosterone, get your vitamin D. If you cannot get natural sunlight, unfortunately I do working outdoors in a very, very sunny climate. And if you do, try not to use too much sun cream. Again, that inhibits the absorption of vitamin D. But if you can't, then you're going to have to supplement, guys. You just have to supplement, even if you're under the age of 40 and you don't get much sunlight. I think most adults are in the northern hemisphere are vitamin D deficient, so something like that. Don't quote me on that one, but I would definitely supplement vitamin D. Now, disclaimer here: go get your test work done. Of course, if you go get your blood work done and your markers are good, you don't necessarily need to supplement. But go and get this done. You will find you probably might be on the low end if you're living in countries like England, etc. So vitamin D, another big one is zinc and magnesium. If you get zinc and magnesium in, these are huge regulators and boosters again of testosterone. All other things, immune system, mood, body fatigue, prevention of injuries, muscle soreness, etc. These are huge. If you were training, you're physically active like I am, these are massive, guys, and especially if you're a father. All these things, trying to get as good sleep as you can, as much sunlight as you can, training, like we said, in that 1 to 8 rep. So again, that's a change of video over. I'm gonna have to fix this out. There's a 10-minute limit on my videos. I don't know why. Try to look at it. Anyone could help me. It's an Android phone, Samsung. I don't know. I have to fix that. I'll sort that out because this is annoying. But yes, so testosterone, those things, they're my tips to keep it naturally. Now, some people might say if you're taking supplements, maybe it's not natural. I think it's pretty natural. I mean, you got, at the end of the day, you just supplement nutrients that you were maybe not getting from foods. It's not like you're taking anabolics or any other type of steroids. So yeah, that's what I would say. So the good sleep, sunlight, get the sunlight in first thing you wake up, get natural light in there. Keep that natural light, go out in the sun as much as you can, absorb that vitamin D. If you can't, take the supplements, vitamin D, zinc, magnesium. Training, lift heavy, lift weights, 1 to 8 rep range, not going to failure, massive. I would say, plenty of fats and proteins in your diet, keep your calories high. If you do those things, there's many other things you can do. Boost your testosterone naturally, other things, there's other foods and supplements you can take. We'll dive more and more into it. But they're the basics, they're the things you can do just on a daily basis. You haven't really got to think about it too much. Just implement those things in on a daily basis and you'll boost your testosterone, you'll keep it high. And the one major thing I nearly forgot, and this is probably the biggest thing. So I was listening to the Andrew Huberman podcast, neuroscientist Andrew Huberman. Now there's been the no FAP, this whole movement, no FAP, no masturbation, etc. has talked about this boosting testosterone for years. I'm not the first to talk about it, I won't be the last. But there is research out there that shows semen retention. 1 week of semen retention. On the Huberman podcast, he says 1 week of semen retention can boost your testosterone up by over 400%. Now, looked into it and I couldn't find any other studies that replicate that study. There are studies that show increases in testosterone. There's some studies that don't show any increase, but for the most part there is an increase, but nowhere near 400%. Either way, it definitely is one of the biggest boosters. I feel it. I go a week or so without any type of ejaculation, and there's not, and I feel that boost. I feel my libido is way higher, it's through the roof. I feel more energized. I want to do more stuff. I feel stronger in the gym. 100%. I feel better in the gym. So that's a huge one, yeah. So semen retention, 1 week. The studies that I found, roughly after 1 week, then your testosterone starts to level out again, go back to normal level. So about 1 week it sort of peaks, and it starts to level out again. So guys, stop jacking off all the time. It's not good for you. It ain't good for you. I realised, when I look back in the past when I was regularly doing it, my motivation, I just didn't want to do anything. My energy levels were low. So lay off of that. Lay off of that shit. Stop doing it. Stop doing it on the regular. And even if it doesn't boost anything, right? From a scientific standpoint, at least you learn some discipline. And a lot of us can get more disciplined in our lives. So if you can overcome that, you definitely can get more discipline with other things. So yeah, those things. Get your natural sunlight. Get the rays into your eyes. If you can't, get your vitamin D supplements. Take your magnesium. Take your zinc. Get in the gym. Lift weights. Lift heavy. 1 to 8 rep range. Don't go to failure. Stop jacking off. That's going to boost your testosterone massively. You're going to feel fantastic. You get that high, your testosterone high. I know when I've had my testosterone high, I can feel it, I know it, I'm just on fire, guys. I feel like you can take on the whole fucking world. It feels amazing. And then when it is low, you just feel like crap, you don't want to do anything. So they're the natural things, especially as fathers, right? Having kids lowers it. Spending time with kids lowers it, okay? I want to spend as much time with my kids as possible, but I want to so I try and keep my levels and really boost them as high as I possibly can by doing all this stuff. And I tell you what, 100% it's worked. I'm feeling so much better doing this stuff. Implement this on a daily basis. Hope this helps. Thanks for watching the video. Drop me a like and subscribe. Talk to you soon.